Hey everyone, so today I'll be discussing JavaScript objects and how to use them and the differences between the two ways of defining an object in JavaScript. So let's go ahead and get started. So the preferred way of defining an object in JavaScript is to use an object literal. So my obj is just going to be this, and you'll see that it's a really simple syntax. Not very verbose as opposed to the object constructor. So var, and we'll do my second object equals second object equals new object. Alright, now you'll see that even my IDE will kind of give me a little bit of a heads up that, hey, this can be simplified. So before I talk about why this is, right now I guess I'll just go ahead and tell you why it's preferred to use this syntax on line 10, the object literal, because it's just simpler, it's easier. Why you might want to use this syntax here, it's rare. I've never needed to use it, but I'll tell you one thing you can do with it. You can pass it an object. So in this case, if I pass it a data type of 1, it's going to create a number object. And if I pass it a string, say foo, it'll create a string object. Or I can even pass it another object and do my obj. Then that'll just create a reference to the other object. So my second object will just be a reference to my object. So that's one of the differences between the two. It's absolutely preferred to use the object literal, and for many reasons. One other reason why it's simpler is that you can just add properties in here. So if you have a property, and we're going to create a new object type. We're going to call it person. So if you're we're going to do something fun here. We're going to create a person. Now the reason I capitalize this is because we're going to treat this almost like a class. So if you're familiar with like classes in PHP or C# or Java or whatever, then the convention is usually to use a capital letter for classes. So we're going to treat this almost like that. And there's ways of implementing inheritance. So I may get into that, or I might do another tutorial, depending on how long this one takes. Anyways, we're talking about objects here. So one cool thing about objects is that they act like associative arrays. So if you're familiar with associative arrays in PHP, for example, then this is just going to be a breeze, cinch. So, and the thing with associative arrays is that they have a key, they take a key, and they take a value. So in this case, we're going to create a person, we're going to create F name for first name, and we'll do Edgar, and then we'll do L name. Why did I do that? Alright, also note that I use a comma at the end of the property value. So let's do L name for last name, and we'll do Martinez. That's my last name, except it's with an E there. Okay, and then we'll do let's see, address. I'm going to show you something here. With address, we're actually going to create another object inside of it. See how nice that is? We have a whole new object. Didn't have to use the new keyword. Very, very easy. And so this is almost like we're nesting them. Well, actually, we are. So we can do like street. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street, and we can do city, and we can do Napa, and state. We can do California. Let's do capital there, and zip code. Now you'll see something funny here. 94559. So one thing you can do when obviously in JavaScript you can't have spaces in the names of the properties, so that's going to be erroneous. What you can do with the property names is put them in quotes. So if you need to use a space, although this is not a good convention, a good way of doing things. If you have, if you need to, it's try to go with camel case. But if for whatever reason you need to use a special character or something, then please put it in quotes and it'll work. Okay, so let's do another deal here. We'll do friends. Oops, friends, and we can do an array. So one cool thing about objects and their properties is the property values can be anything. They can be an array, a string, a number, an object, a function. Yeah, you name it. And you can take any of the other JavaScript data types. So in this case, we'll do an array of people's names. So Valerie in there. We'll do Tim, and say Alex, and say Jordan. Boom. Oh, yeah, we got that. Okay. And although it's not invalid in some browsers, leaving a trailing comma, avoid it. I know that Chrome doesn't like it, and I think only some older browsers don't mind it. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I've done that and it drove me nuts until I found it. Or lint your code. That's a good rule of thumb as well. So anyways, let me show you something else too. So because like I was saying, it can be any values for the properties can be anything, any of the data types. Let's do age, and we'll do my age, 32, and then we will do something fun. So get full name. We're gonna do this as a function. So it's gonna be an anonymous function. Boom, boom, and we'll just do return this dot lname plus a space, because my name is not Edgar Martinez, it's Edgar space Martinez, and then we'll do this dot lname, and we'll return that. So I'll show you how to access the properties, and yeah, okay. So let's see, do we have everything? All right, so one of the things I wanted to cover, if you want to point to the property, notice, I should say, that if you want to point to a property in this, you just use the keyword this, which is actually very similar to PHP, where you would use this, or you do that in a few languages. Anyways, let's go ahead and start playing around with this nice, cool object that we have. If you hear a crying banshee in the background, that's my son. He does not want to go to sleep tonight, and my wife is trying to put him down. So there may or may not be some screaming. Okay, let's do something fun here. So we can go person dot, and look at my IDE. It's so nice. It's going to do all the work for us. Boom. Boom. There we go. And yeah, as you can see, it goes down to get, I love my IDE. God, that's so awesome. So it highlights all the instances there of get full name, get full name. It runs that function, and there you have, whoops, why did I see lname? Oh, there we go. I got to do fname. Aha. We should write some unit tests for what? Fname. Okay, maybe it is cached or something. There we go. Yeah, it just wasn't refreshing. Okay, so we have that working for us now. But let me tell you why this is important. Why objects are important in JavaScript. Because functions are objects, which is cool. And I'm going to show you how to do that now. So let's actually comment this fun stuff out and start on a new approach. Getting ahead of myself. So we're going to create a new object, var person. Again, we're going to go with this kind of convention. And we're going to, this time, do an object, okay? I'm going to show you some things that are similar and some things that are not so similar. So var person, and then I want to add some properties to this person. So remember how we, how up here we use this keyword? I'm going to go ahead and do that. And this is where we see some of the similarities. So this dot fname equals Edgar, and we can do that, and then we can do this dot lname equals Martinez. Let me clean up the code real quick. So, Martínez. Okay, there we go. So let's try adding a new method in here. So we're gonna actually kind of create a closure here. So we're gonna do a this dot get full name, and if you guessed that what I'm gonna put here is a function, you would guess correctly. Ugh, you rock. All right, let's put our semicolon, and we can do return this dot lname plus blam blam, and this dot. See, I'm doing it wrong again. Name. This is what I'm doing wrong. This is supposed to be fname here. Haha. All right. Now let's do some magic stuff here. So let's do a console.log. I want to show you something. We can do person.get full name, and we're going to see an error. Yep. Why are we seeing an error? That's a very good question, my friend. The reason we are seeing an error is because we are not using the new keyword. When you try to instantiate an instance of this person when you use a function, you're going to want to use the new keyword. So var Edgar equals new person. Boom. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a cool trick. Now we can do Edgar get full name. Boom. And now we see Edgar Martinez. I'm going to show you something cool. Something I learned, which I hope to pass on to you. So what we will do is this. We'll do a quick check. If this how does it go? Why am I getting stuck now? Okay, if this instance, come on, Edgar, instance of there we go, person. Okay, then we do return this, return new person. There we go. Now let me show you what this is going to allow us to do. We can just go, instead of using a new keyword, we can actually omit that, and voila, it works now. Now why is this acting? Function has inconsistent return points. That's just my IDE trying to tell me something. Yeah, anyways. Let's clean this up a little bit, and you can see that now we can either omit the new keyword or use a keyword. Now I'm not going to get into prototypes right now, but we could do this using a prototype, which again I'm not going to get into. But if you had like a parent, if you wanted to go and use the like classical inheritance approach, you could add this to the prototype, and you could do this for all your objects really. But JavaScript, you know, one of the things I really don't like that people try to do with JavaScript is convert it into their favorite OOP language. I think JavaScript is JavaScript, and it should be embraced for the things that it does well and it does good. And some people have a hard time. Now, if you're one of these people, I don't want to offend you, but try to see as you grow. Try to see, imagine if JavaScript was the first language you learned. Imagine you didn't know Java, if you didn't know C# or PHP, and you were learning from scratch. I think that's sometimes knowing another language can hinder your growth because you're trying to mold JavaScript to work the way the other languages that you know work. And you'll find that you'll miss a lot of the beauty, a lot of the elegance, a lot of the awesomeness of JavaScript. So keep that in mind. Keep an open mind and try to learn a new way. And you know what? You're gonna thank yourself, because I think that it's made me a better PHP programmer as well. Like kind of taking that approach. It's made a lot of other things I think more palatable. So anyways, I've digressed. I think here we've covered just about all the little things of basic objects without doing some serious overkill and talking about prototype, which I will do in another tutorial. So stay tuned, be safe, and find love and happiness in this world. It's very important. So chill, be cool, late.